Once again, the birthright citizenship question. You've actually cemented yourself as one of the few members of Congress with the balls to actually talk about what it means to be an American. Like, what is an American exactly?
Yeah, I mean, you hit the
Isn't
nail
an
on.
American, you know? And so, like, so your take on the birthright citizenship question, please.
Well, it's incredibly important, and so we'll see what the Supreme Court says. If I had to guess, and this is always risky, is they will punt it back to Congress. And so I'm going to be offering legislation that'll address that, but we can talk about that in a moment. But you hit the nail on the head. You know, you can literally have a voodoo worshiping whatever from Haiti,
Yes,
and suddenly is an American. Or more sinister, you know, when you hear about birthright citizenship, it kind of has a benign type of title. But the reality is that you could have someone who was born in Guam, who is Chinese, their heritage is communism, and they're going to be United States to run for president in 15, 20, 25 years and fully funded by the Communist Chinese Party. And so that is the implication if we don't fix this, is that you literally could have a Manchurian candidate from a foreign nation that wants to destroy America be funded from overseas money to destroy this country and bring it to its knees. Not on my watch. I'm sick and tired of this crap. And by the way, the Supreme Court today has done some incredible work in the decisions of, again, attacking the deep state, which has been undermining the conservative movement. You saw that during Trump's first term, where the deep state literally did everything they could to work against the president.
So it looks like here the Supreme Court has just ruled against the president's administration in upholding the birthright citizenship for, I mean, we're getting this right now. We're getting this in ALS.
Not surprising, by the way.
Yeah, not surprising. It's something that we expected. But here's the actual ruling. And we're getting, but the takeaway is that the Supreme Court has upheld birthright citizenship, specifically for criminal aliens and illegals that are here, which is just an obscenity. Children born in the United States to parents unlawfully or temporarily present are subject to the jurisdiction of the United States and are citizens at birth under the 14th Amendment's Citizenship Clause. That is the final ruling opinion here.
So this is where, we're locked and loaded. So we'll have a piece of legislation that will drop called Anchors Away, which is going to define that section of the Constitution and the law, so that if you come here for the purposes of birthright citizenship, that we will define that, no, you're not a citizen. And ultimately, I think that there will be lawsuits and it'll go back to the Supreme Court, but you have to create a mechanism where you can challenge a ruling like that, which again was narrow in scope. But that being said, this is the legislative body. We get to decide who comes in this country, and we get to decide who leaves. So Anchors Away is going to be the next step in fighting against this invasion from China and Haiti and all over the world where people are coming here to undermine this country.
What about ending the welfare state? I mean, that also, of course, is the reason why everybody wants to go and have a baby on American soil, is because it entitles you to gratuitous levels of permanent welfare and privileges because of the now magic dirt that has been now magic dirt is now the law once again of the land. It's been the law of the land. I mean, we functioned like this. We functioned under birthright citizenship for as long as the 14th Amendment's been written. And so,
and the original intent of that, and we can't litigate the past. This is the hand that we've been dealt. But you're talking about the cost to America. So let's look under the Biden administration. We've talked about this before. 200,000 Afghanis came to the United States of America. What you would hope is that anybody comes to this country, they get a job, they work, they pay taxes, they contribute to society. But the Afghanis, those 200,000, over 50% are on welfare. Over 70% are getting free health care. Oh, by the way, we have veterans still killing themselves at a rate of 20 to 22 a day. Oh, by the way, we have kids in the third grade that can't read, write, and do arithmetic, and they're destined to go to prison because of that. If I have to choose between Americans or some illegal that's scripting off society, I choose Americans. And so we've got to fight back against this type of welfare state and, quite frankly, the deep state.
So you actually bring up, I think, a very interesting point here, which is that instead of doing the actual hard work in Congress, Republicans and Democrats just sit there and get down on their knees and worship at the Supreme Court.
Right.
Just pray that these berobed mystics who, I mean, it is mystical, right? It is Barrett's and Roberts, of course, who sided with the libs and now allow for infinity, the infinity children of the third world to all become Americans magically on our soil if they could just get here. It'd be much easier to just pass a law. I mean, maybe not easier, but the way the system's supposed to work is what you're talking about here, Congressman.
That's right.
That Congress says, no, this is insane, and we need to fix this immediately, and go through the legislative process, and then the president signs it into law, and then there really isn't any judicial review. That's just the way the system works, right? Like,
the way it's supposed to work.
Judicial review is made up, by the way, so then you get that law passed by Republicans. I mean, if you can pass the SAVE Act, you certainly can end birthright citizenship by law. Is that correct? Are we following correctly?
Absolutely. I mean, there's no reason to give up, throw up our hands in this moment. You know, again, this is the hand, this is the battle that we're facing. And so let's go on the offense. And so Angers Away is going to address this. Yes, it would get challenged in the courts. And by the way, our founding fathers warned us against this all-powerful judiciary that is literally like the legislative branch is supposed to. We've got to pull back and fight for that power. And the way to do that is to go on offense and to show the country, to show the people that there are separate branches of power. There are separate branches within the government, and we're going to turn that power and that authority to legislate. And so I'm not going to sit back and let this happen to our country, because again, I warn you, there is a Manchurian candidate that has been born on this soil that is going to be sent to this country to run for president to undermine this country. I don't know who he or she is, but they've been born and they're on their way. And I'm not going to stand by and let it happen.
That's exactly right. Everybody sort of breathes a sigh of relief that Zoran Mandami can't legally run for president. But guess what? They already have like 50 Zoran Mandamis cooking in a laboratory right now.
Absolutely, or more, for that matter.
Of course. I mean, we've seen this happen. It's central casting. This is the same thing with the AOC.
That's right.
They did this thing with the AOC. It's all central casting. So like John Ossoff, nobody even knows who the hell that guy is. But suddenly out of nowhere, right? He's just selected.
Yeah.
To be something, some magical thing. Yeah.
And I guarantee you at some point, Mamdani's running for governor. He's going to run for the U.S. Senate. Like they don't plan on just leaving him in the mayor's office. Like this is central casting. It's planning. Millions of dollars, hundreds of $1 million will be always behind this guy. And he's a threat to the, really the security of our country. When you have someone who does not love this country, he's from a faith that hates this country, and he's now the mayor of the economic center of this country. Holy crap. And oh, by the way, the terrorism resources that he has at his fingertips. Can anyone remember 9/11? Again, this guy hates us, hates this country, and he talks about the fact that he hates this country. New York, wake up. Now, he did lie on his N-400. My remigration bill addresses that, which he could be denaturalized and he could be deported if we can get remigration passed, which is ultimately my goal. You're welcome, New York.
So if he lied on his federal form, wouldn't that just be a DHS thing? Wouldn't you call upon DHS to do a full review, just like with Ilhan Omar? It seems like they already got the bullet loaded into the metaphorical gun there in order to fix these problems, like from a paperwork litigation standpoint.
So
I mean, the vice president tells me that they have all the documents on Ilhan Omar, and that the White House is convinced that she committed immigration fraud. It's not the first time I've heard that from DHS. So what's stopping them from doing that?
So that is housed at DOJ currently. So my remigration bill would move it over to Immigration and Customs. And instead of being a criminal and legal proceeding, it would be an administrative proceeding, which, the hurdles in your appeals are much more simpler and streamlined. And so you literally could denaturalize tens of thousands of people a day across cities all over this country. That's how you get these illegals who are drifting off society out of this country. Look, if you want to come back in, you have to do it the right way. You can't come here illegally. But someone like Mamdani, who lied on his N-400, who became a U.S. citizen under false pretense, he should be eligible to be denaturalized and deported. And again, he literally is here to undermine this country and our republic.